Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching this Ag Forecast for South America, brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. I want to go back and look at some satellite-derived precipitation, and as we click play on this, we've seen right here through parts of Argentina and southern Brazil. In fact, watch this frontal boundary that moves right through here. Some of these storms have just delivered a tremendous amount of rain, including some severe weather, which we covered in Monday's video. Just looking back over that time period, I'm going to extend it back a little farther. Let's go back all the way to the 15th of February through March 2nd. We can see that when we look at total accumulated precipitation, some of those storms into this area have delivered some heavy rain into some very dry regions. In fact, some places picking up, according to some satellite-derived measurements here over this 2-week time period, better than 6 to 8 inches of rain. Had some heavier rains that have also hit parts of, very narrow parts here of southern Brazil on the corner of Paraguay, Paraná, Santa Catarina, and Rio Grande do Sul. But as I was looking at this, a big question I have is, what is this rain capable of doing? And I want to show you some of the latest NDVI imagery. Now remember, when you look at these images, what we're looking for here is the really bright colors represent where the crop looks healthy from space, and the darker is where it looks less healthy. And this is an 8-day kind of rolling average. Now what I've noticed here is that still portions of southern Mato Grosso do Sul and Paraná, right at very ag productive region into there, still have a lot of these kind of bluer colors, as you can see. And then as we kind of follow the Paraná River down, which comes right in through here, kind of bordering Paraguay, this part of Argentina, and this part of Rio Grande do Sul, there's still a large region in here showing quite a bit of stress. But overall, when you back this up and look, we do see better overall NDVI values from Buenos Aires back toward Cordoba, but this was an area that was hit very hard back in December in January. So the recent rains have come through and kind of green things up a bit, but we need to keep a close eye on the quality of the crop in that area. Now just look at this again, and let me compare it to the latest data we got from Grace. So this just was released the other day, but it's got data in it through February 28th, and we're looking at root zone soil moisture. So while we've seen the heavier rains return down here farther to the south in Argentina, there's that block right in through there, which we just highlighted, that still shows up not only in the NDVI imagery, but also in the root zone soil moisture as needing quite a bit more precipitation. Now, echoing what we covered on Monday, I want to take you straight to this map. This is a 15-day forecast of precipitation anomalies. And what we're seeing here, just kind of top to bottom, let's start in the north, decent rains returning to Mato Grosso. And this is good for this area. They're nearly finished with the planting of the safrinha crop, meaning that they're finished harvesting the soybeans for the most part. Where we're drier over here in Goiás, getting into Minas Gerais, this area, this is a region that had been very wet throughout the season. So this drier stretch they're in right now, I wouldn't necessarily see as problematic. But as you notice, getting down from Paraná down to Rio Grande do Sul, better rains forecast by the models, and still very heavy rains for northern Argentina and parts of Uruguay, where there's been a lot of flooding as of late. The models have attempted to move in some drier conditions after this, and I'm watching this very carefully. But right now we've got relatively weak teleconnections. What I mean by that is the MJO signal is very weak. The Antarctic Oscillation signal is quite weak. And then when we look at how the moisture is being transported out of the tropics across this area in terms of the monsoonal strength, it doesn't look as though it's just deviating too much from normal. So let's take that and start to forecast beyond the next couple of weeks. First, I would like to show you what's coming through in its timing. So as we play through Friday, getting here into Saturday, okay, we have another front. Remember, we looked at that on Monday. We had 3 big fronts coming through. First one's through. Here's the second one coming in on Saturday and Sunday, delivering some heavy rain. And then we kind of have that front stalling out here as the next one shows up early next week. And that's it right there. So you can see that next one pushing through on Monday into Tuesday. So we've got from now through early next week some very heavy rainfall coming to this area. Will likely be in the form of some big storms as well. Then as we look out there to next Tuesday into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, there is that final front that's supposed to be stretching through this area about a week from now. So we got 3 different systems pulling through the drought regions in Argentina into southern Brazil, delivering some rainfall. So that helps explain why you see all of this out over the next 2 weeks when you put it all together. The monsoonal circulation was a bit weaker north, but it is expected to kind of regain its strength as we get fully into week 2. All right, in fact, let's just do that real quick. This is what we're expecting only from week 2. All right, so it looks something like that. So that's the dryness pulling in week 2 over the area that's about to get a whole bunch of rain, and better rain's coming into southern Brazil, near normal in the north. So we have to look at this overall and say, yes, it is favorable, but it won't undo the damage that was done early in the season. Now, what's very interesting is what we just saw come out from the longer range forecast. This is looking at mid-March through mid-April, and we got a new kind of update here. The models continue to keep a drier bias in parts of Mato Grosso, including over here towards Rondônia and even parts of Pará in the north. It's wettest right here along the east coast. But I just noticed that the models did come in with a drier signal that does extend back into Argentina. Do you see that region right in there? And we start to kind of build this story as to why. But I'm telling you, the teleconnections are, they're just too weak for me to say with confidence that it's going to look like this. But it makes sense given that we still are watching this fading La Nina. And if you historically correlate the ocean temperatures right here where I'm circling with a March and April precipitation pattern for South America. So look, wet here, dry strip in through there. This is what the historical correlations look like. Wet here and kind of drier signals in places. But these correlations are very, very weak. And that's why, once again, I'm just going to follow up with what I said on Monday's video. I don't think that we're going to have a lot of great predictability or high skill in forecasting kind of the first month and a half of this safrinha crop. Let's monitor it, see how things shape up, and then we'll keep a close eye on what's going on in Argentina as well. All right. Appreciate your time this week. I will give you another update on Monday. Thanks.